Hello, and welcome to another tantalizing episode of From A to Z, an Aavegotchi Podcast with Z-Fi and ZombieShepherd. And it's a little lonely this week. Nobody showed up yet, but maybe some people will pop in. Somebody did pop in for a second and then left. I don't know who that was.
I thought I saw that. I
Yep.
guess I just assumed it was a recording alt or something.
Nah, I think it said Growl or something. I saw the
Oh,
name.
that's a new name.
Yeah, growl. Or there's an 8 maybe in there.
Sure.
All right, so yeah, what are we talking about? Well, you had a nice weekend off.
I did. Oh man, went camping. I'm in northern Michigan, so I've got like woods and lakes and trees and beautiful weather and sunshine, and it was amazing. So I went to my favorite place and did some more camping, and can't wait to go back in 2 weeks. I've got some drone footage and some pictures that maybe we can pull out later. We'll see how it goes.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
I did not do that. I should be taking this Bankless week off to do a little bit of like more exploration. Matter of fact, I am planning to do something tomorrow.
Well, that's good.
I'm either gonna go out to like City Park into the deep woods and just like chill, or I'm gonna maybe go to NOMA, the New Orleans Museum of Art. It's like free for New Orleans residents on Wednesday.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I might just go
There you
hang
go.
out at the museum. Maybe I'll do both. Hang out at the museum, then go hang out in the forest and get some relaxation. But yeah, I should definitely get out while I have some time. A little
Touch
bit
some
of
grass, man.
yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's off week, but it's also like people still do stuff.
I keep seeing posts, hey, in case you want to take a break from your off week, in case you want to take a break from, your gap week. No, the gap week is the break. Let me break, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I want to say the first or second off weeks that we had at Bankless, people didn't take an off week.
It was confusing, unclear. I worked through them. Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, there's
need a
some
break
things
sometime.
like, especially if you're in governance and stuff, you kind of have to like move the needle a little bit. Um, An Aavegotchi Podcast, sir. um, what was I saying? I kind of lost it. Musashi's text got me all distracted. Um, yeah, off week. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, it's kind of yeah, cause yeah. But I have noted, like, I went to the podcast hatchery meeting yesterday, but there was really only a few people there. It was yeah.
That makes sense. Are we planning an AV meeting tomorrow?
Not that I mean, like I said, if I'm going to do stuff, I won't be there.
Yeah, there you go. It's gap
So
week.
gap week, and I know Liquidiot's out. He's out doing a job.
Yep.
He's out for like 6 days or something. Um, so yeah, but I mean, also it's not off week for me because I have been, and this has been a real challenge, but I have been working on a lot of music, and so it's been a real challenge with trying
Hmm.
to balance my time and also switching energies, like having to, you know, early in the day when I'm like first getting to work, like I try to take care of a lot of like business. I try to like do my bankless stuff. I try to anything that is able to be done, any kind of text, email,
Yep.
moving the needle in any kind of way that is pretty light to, to medium heavy, not anything too crazy because unless that needs to be done. Like if there's governance docs that need to get worked on, I'll get to those pretty quick.
You gotta start smashing. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do some other things to warm up to that. But my point being that like my neighbor slash landlord isn't home during the day, so I also have to use that time to play drums and get loud. Um, So it's been that balance of like, all right, I gotta get some work done in the morning, and then I need to
Get
like
rowdy.
get rowdy, play some music, get creative, and then like
Get it
towards
out.
the end of the day, then I usually is when I start having like meetings and podcasts and things I have to do again. So it's like I have to like kick it back to that level. Or if I'm not, then it's like the time of day when I need to be like thinking about making content, like making
Hmm.
videos or just doing my gotchi business in general. Um, so
I'll tell you, there's a
yeah.
lot of content. There's a lot of content to be made doing gotchi business in general. I can't believe how much time I've sunk into general gotchi business this last week.
Right, right. I mean, especially getting into gotchi business. So, like, I have really switched gears, going heavy on lending, on borrowing.
Borrowing.
Um, I have been going heavy in that. I have a gotchi for every channel that I can hit in a day. And I
Nice.
do long term rentals more than short term rentals.
Hmm.
I kind of like a combination. Like now that I'm trapped in a bunch of long-term rentals, I'm kind of like regretting it.
Well, there's a lot that can fluctuate, right?
Right, right. And it's like I wish I had done a better balance like of having some long-term rentals, but having a few that I would
Uh,
have to like get per day. Like I would
well,
have
why
to
is that? Why would
uh,
that be preferable, do you think?
because well, today for instance with gas spiking, it pushed one of my level 4 channelings so far back that the 8 hour cooldown was going to push it past 7 o'clock, or the
The
turnover
reset.
period. So
Yep.
basically I lost a channeling, and by having just enough gotchis, like by having enough gotchis to do every channel, when you lose a channel that means a gotchi doesn't get channeled that day. So I have an unchanneled gotchi in the corral, so that is a loss on a rental because I don't have an altar to hit it with.
Oof.
Um,
And
so if I hadn't rented so tightly, then I would be able to like I would have an open altar already because I hadn't rented so tightly that
right.
I would have some other altar to hit it on. And
And you
then
off
I
a
would have
rental.
that fluctuation
Uh,
of it's also the dopamine of like taking out the like refreshing and like getting that good price and everything.
fighting
Um
the lending listings.
Right, exactly. Like looking for good deals. Like now I'm locked in. I think my shortest rental is like gonna end in like 6 days. So like I'm not gonna get to rent anything for 6 days. I'm locked in. So I like the idea of leaving a little more headspace next time. A little bit of wiggle room. And it's also because like you were saying with the intense like schedule, well I've got a level 3, a level 4, and 4 level 1s. Or three level ones, 4 level 1s, four. Oh no, I'm sorry. I get a level 4, a level 3, a level 2, and 3 level 1s. So my channeling is like nonstop. Like it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta hit it again in 2 hours. Oh, I gotta hit it again. I gotta get two in 2 hours. I gotta get another two in 3 hours. I gotta get an.
It's a all day grind.
It's an
That's
all
how the
day
first week
grind, and
was.
it's literally like, well, if I want to maximize my channelings now, since I rented so tight, well, I've got to like wake up at 2 a.m. and hit that altar and go back to sleep.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. But, and see, this is, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, yeah, that's why I guess more altars, high level altars is better because then maybe you don't feel so bad about missing some channelings. But the bottom line is if you don't hit it every 8 hours, if you're delayed by even a little bit, it pushes that channeling over the 24-hour mark. Um, in order to keep
Yeah.
3 cycles on a level 4, you actually like have to hit them every 8 hours or it slowly drifts and then you lose a channeling. Every time it drifts past that mark, you lose a channeling. And if you're renting, that's a loss in margin.
Right. Well, it's also a inefficiency on the yield of the parcel.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, but I guess what I'm saying is if you have more higher level altars, then maybe you're a bit less worried about, because like by the time you get to a level 9, you're almost all, there's no way you're going to be hitting it on the hour every hour. You're guaranteed, at the very least, if you were the most efficient altar channeler ever, then at the very least, every 60 channelings would push you back a day. Like one channeling. You see what I mean? Because even if you were like, because it's going to take at least a minute. It's a minute.
Oh, I see. Yep, yep.
So if you do 60 channelings, that's moved you an hour, and now you've lost one. So there's no way, even if you're the most efficient channeler ever, there's no way to like never lose time.
You can only do the best you can do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. It's not possible to hit. Like, it's not possible to hit all your altars. It's not possible to, especially once everything's saturated, the numbers aren't there.
So once you get over like a level 4, maybe once you get to a level or a 5 or a 6, you stop caring about missing a channeling.
It becomes a public use.
Well, you just don't care as much about missing because like you're getting so many per day that I don't care. I'm sleeping through these. I'll get it when I wake up.
Instead of it becoming 4 channels versus 3, it becomes 3 conveniently. And you can space it however it works for you, but you're still getting 3.
With a level 2 and a level 3, I was thinking about this. A level 2 and a level 3 still only can channel 2 gotchis. Because you're only getting 2 channels per day. It's just the inconvenience of, you know, like if you have an 18-hour cooldown, well now you're constantly moving your channeling times on both ends. It never adds up.
That's what I realized moving just from 1 to 2 is I almost don't even care about the reduced spillover and reduced radius or whatever. The key about moving from 1 to 2 is that you've got a little bit of leeway. You don't have to be 24 hours on the dot. You can get it in the evening.
Right.
A little window, you know? So.
But that's if you're thinking about it for 1 gotchi. If you're hitting it with 2 gotchis, now you're in that same boat of, well, I've got a 6-hour window where if I like don't hit it tight, then, you know, I'll be losing a channeling at some point.
Right.
So it's really about getting to a point where you don't care about losing a channeling here and there. You know?
But you don't want to be losing a ton of channelings too. Because if you're only channeling once a day and you've got the opportunity to channel 8 or 24 times a day,
right?
Why upgrade to that level?
Yeah,
it's probably for the reservoirs, but you know.
So that brings up an interesting point, though. So yeah, that's true. You need it for the reservoirs, but let's say you go up to, you know, let's say you own 3 or 4 gotchis. You go up to a level 9. You can channel 24 gotchis a day. Do you start renting more? Like, what if you don't want to rent? Like, it's almost, people would say it's an inefficiency if you have 4 gotchis and a level 9 altar.
Kind of. I mean, if your goal is to max out.
Right. But also, as I was saying at the beginning, it's kind of like we started focusing on the UBI, which really wasn't a thing before. And like now it's like, oh, I have to maximize my altar channelings.
It's the biggest yield thing.
Right.
It's the most important thing. It's better.
Right.
It's
well, especially since the farming got nerfed. You know, like now, because farming would have made more than channeling by the old recipes.
Right. Before it got changed.
Right. So now channeling makes more than farming by a long shot, to the point that it's driven me into the lending market to say, oh, well, shit, I need to go borrow a bunch of gotchis because the only way I'm going to be able to afford to level up my farm quickly and efficiently is to maximize channelings.
Right. And then you just roll that into your build.
Right. And that's essentially what I'm doing. So I'm, in a way, I'm not even worried about the margin, the ghost margin I lose on this. I'm more worried about, no, I need every channeling for my rental because it goes straight into upgrades. If I miss a channel, you know,
that you back on your upgrade schedule.
That's 20 to 50 FUD I missed. You know what I mean? Like, depending on the level of the gotchi.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, because the other thing I've realized, so because on rentals, you have to claim the Alchemica. So the other way that I've played it is, well, you're kind of losing. If you make too many transactions, it's inefficient. So you actually want to fill up a rental till it gets to a decent size before you claim. And then, because otherwise you're paying for a channeling twice.
Paying for it.
Yeah, because you take a rented gotchi, you channel it. The money's in the gotchi. To get it to you, you got to claim it. That's 2 transactions.
I see what you mean.
So the more you can cut down on that second transaction, the better. So if you can get, if you do 5, 6, 7 channelings, you can essentially have an upgrade sitting in a gotchi.
The way to get around that is just let the owner claim an end. And
not if you have a 47-day rental or whatever, or like not 47 day, whatever it was. Like I have some that are like 20-day rentals. So if I want that in the meantime, I have to claim it at some point. But the other way, you're right. Like for the ones that are less efficient, for the lower kinship gotchis that I have, yeah, that I'm gonna let them claim it. I'm just gonna let that money sit in there. So that's almost gonna be a haul, because when those gotchis get pulled out, I'm suddenly gonna have a bunch of Alchemica in my wallet to be able to upgrade. But that's kind of the way I'm playing it. Is I'm still thinking about my 2 gotchis, and then I look at the other gotchis throughout the week, and I'm like, oh, you have enough to do me an entire upgrade. Claim.
Then you make it worth your while, because then you can go right from there into stacking parcel builds, right?
Exactly. And then, yeah, so like for me, it's not even about, I don't even worry about the ghost margin. I need as much Alchemica as possible. So
that's what I'm looking at right now, yeah.
Because also on the one I'm building out, I'm only on level 3 altars. So I already have to go, like, I'm at level 3 on most of my installations, on all my reservoirs at least. So now I have to do the altar next. And that's an expense. The altar is the most expensive.
Pricey fast, yes.
And the way I'm seeing it, talking like with my strategy that I've been saying about the low claim is basically what it is. Like, empty your reservoirs as little as possible. I don't think there's a point in emptying a reservoir before level 4. Because
and how I feel. I haven't even touched mine. I've got full reservoirs and harvesters going on 2 of my parcels, and I haven't even emptied because
even if you empty, if you have all 4 reservoirs at a level 3 full, and you empty that, you are getting the channeling of a low kinship gotchi. Because your FUD might be like 20 before it is 20. Your level 3 FUD is 20 before spillover. So what you're going to get out of that harvesting is less than a low kinship gotchi channeling. So I'm saying when you hit level 4, you're essentially doubling a medium kinship gotchi channeling. Because 80 FUD is about 45% more than you would get for like a 500 gotchi channeling.
I see exactly what you mean. So really, if you're just building a bunch of low-level reservoirs to get your shit as fast as possible, and I want my FUD out, you're giving up way more
in transactions
than if you just kind of wait.
Yep. Now, see, like I said, the other part of it is that I have these at level 3s, and I still want to go up to level 4. But what I realized is, before I do my altar to level 4, I have to put all my harvesters at level 2. Because right now, I'm not getting jack. So it takes 8 days to fill my reservoirs. Now, 8 days is great for only doing a transaction once every 8 days, but 8 days...
But when the 8 days fills with 2 of each Alchemica, that's not...
Technically, it'll be the same thing when I get to a level 2 and a level 4. It'll be 8 days to fill because it's 10 per day, 80
My
capacity.
gosh.
So at that point, it'll take 8 days. But if you don't use glitter, 8 days is how long it takes to upgrade to a level 4 altar. So
Huh.
essentially, I can move all of my reservoirs up a level, empty, upgrade the altar, and now I know 8 days later I'll have a full reservoirs and I'll have a full
And your
upgraded level
altars.
4 altar, and I can start upgrading whatever I want next.
Very interesting. It's catching everything, dude. It's not picking up any of that cough. None of it.
Well, I
None
just
of any
muted
of
that.
that one,
I
yeah. But
I got
it
the
was
button.
remarkably good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a slow strategy, but it's actually faster. I think it's faster. It's slow but fast because you're like, oh man, you're taking forever to do all this. Like, what? We've been open almost 2 weeks now, and I have 3 level 3 reservoirs, and I'm about to put my FOMO up. That's the last one that has to go to level 3. All my Harveys at level 1. Altar is at level 3, obviously. And this is just one property. But what I'm thinking is like, okay, by the time I get this property at level 4 with level 4 reservoirs and then level 3 Harveys, I'll be able to produce enough Alchemica to quickly start up my next farm.
That's kind of what I was thinking for after the battles too.
Uh-huh.
If I need to shift or if I need to rebuild, that'll be a good time to roll those resources into other parcels, maybe undeveloped parcels. Maybe I tap one out and move to another one.
That's true too, but I think the only hedge from the Great Battle is the only place we're safe from the Great Battle is the Gax. Putting your assets into the glitter pools
Ooh.
is actually the play because first you're going to need the glitter later. I think we're going to need glitter later more than we need it now.
I agree.
I'm playing this patient game of like I'm slowly building my farm. I'm still playing the Gotchi lending game, which was last week's game, but no Futuristic's doing the same thing. He's playing the lending game and building his capital that way because the farming got nerfed so hard that it's just not the play right now. You have to build your farm to a certain level. But a lot of people are like rushing into that. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to take my time, take my time, take my time. And then I'll be able to simultaneously, I've got my glitter pools building up. And then when we get attacked and it comes to that point that like, if things are getting downgraded or deprecated in some kind of way and you have to put Alchemica in to like, I mean, that's the other part too is like, is there going to be a glitter fee to this? Like, or
I think
like,
there is. I think when we get raided, I think it's been said that the liquidators can empty your reservoirs, so you're going to get gutted.
right.
They can't destroy your installations. They can't like remove them because they're on chain. But I would not be surprised if there is a repair mechanic that requires glitter. And after every great battle, you have to dump either a bunch of glitter in to get back to yielding or be patient and wait for
Well, that's
everything
what
to
I was
come back
thinking is
online.
like, if you have to use literal time, then what happens if you, okay, so say I'm at a level 5 and licks attack me down to a level 3 and I defeat them. Walls are fine, but I'm at a level 3 now. I got to get back up to a level 5. If that is time, what happens if I get attacked while I'm upgrading? Like, what happens if it's an 8-day upgrade time and licks come back the next day and attack me? Can they take me down from a level 3 to a level 2 or a level 1 now that while I'm upgrading?
I wonder.
Or
No, they couldn't. They couldn't because you're on chain as a level 3. They have no authorization to change your
so
asset
then
on
it
chain.
seems like the only way to actually repair things is glitter because It has to be instant or not at all. You can't have an invincibility mode while you're repairing, or else everybody would nerf that feature. Everybody would like cheat and just be like always in repair mode because it's essentially invincible.
Right. Interesting. There's going to be some very complicated mechanics that come down the pipe when the liquidator and the battles start happening. I don't think we're anywhere near ready for that. I mean, we don't even have PvP. We don't even have our
PvP is going to be interesting.
We got to nail some things down first. I don't even feel like they could do the first liquidator battle this year.
As I brought up before, though, like who even are the liquidators? How are they getting
We
here?
don't know yet.
Are we giving cartridges to liquidators? Like
we might be. That might be what's being, designed. And not that it's a bad thing or anything, but like we don't know yet. Right. Liquidators. They might be a free to play, but now don't let anybody in. So it's what the fuck is it gonna be?
It has to be. See, where the cartridge model doesn't fit in is, like I said, if we're giving the cartridges, what makes us not like we're giving our enemies the gates to get in and attack us. What makes us not able to coordinate them as well? They just become our soldiers if we brought them in. Yeah. We can actually use them to our will. We could actually be like, hey, Licks, guess what? Leave Gotchi property alone. Go to the portal. I know where the portal... We could pull that, the second adept move, where we're like, hey, I'll bring you straight to the portal, Great Liquidator. I know exactly where the portal is.
Yeah. Psych.
So it might be that our property's not even in danger. Like, I'm really... And maybe this is short-sighted. I have left room for walls. But I really am not... I haven't considered how... Like, that's going to be expensive.
Walls are going to be expensive, and from what I can tell at this point, minimal benefit.
Right.
Not worth it, as far as I'm concerned. I built right to the edge. Fuck it.
I mean, I left room for walls, but...
I can move them, I suppose.
But I've already been thinking... Like I told y'all before, I was thinking about cutting costs on walls. I was like, well, shit, if I bunched my things, I can put walls around the important structures and leave the rest of it open.
I think walls are going to be great for guilds, groups, neighborhoods, large zones, big estates. Walls on single parcels feels wasteful.
Yeah.
Not friendly. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the play to me.
Especially like if I was on a spacious, man. Dude, if I was on a spacious, I would only put walls around my installations. Like literally, I'm going to protect what's important because I can't afford to cover this entire thing.
That's what I was going to do on my reasonable in D5. Oops.
When people are talking about ROI and all this stuff, they didn't count walls because we don't even have...
There's no yield on walls.
Right. And there's no recipes, so we don't even know what the expense is. So
I think it was said that it would be very FUD heavy. I think that was...
Of course, everything's FUD heavy.
That was a court. But as opposed to,
other things... Yeah.
Because it's not moving, it's not FOMO, it's not a social thing, it's like an anti-social thing, so it can't be alpha. Right. Not rare, so it's going to be like cement.
So...
$50.
I need to ask Coder Dan about this, but so he was saying with the Alchemicas that they're different consistencies. They're different, they operate differently. Like, that's why they have different spillover rates. So Alpha has the highest spillover because it's liquid. And FUD is more like earth. Keck is more like a rare metal.
Interesting.
And FOMO is fire, basically. But
FOMO's got pretty high spillover, too.
Right. So, I was talking to Mycelium about this. Like, I noticed on my level 1 reservoirs... so day 1, obviously, things went up at different times. They're going to be on different fill rates. I emptied everything when it reached 100. Or even if I didn't, it doesn't matter. If you empty everything, you're now at 0 on everything. Alpha fills up faster.
Okay.
Like, end of story. Like, they will all be at 0%, and then you check 8 hours later, and Alpha is at, like, 56%, and FUD and FOMO are at like 46%, and Keck is at 36%.
So there's even a balance, not just in the leveling between your reservoirs and your harvesters. There's a balance in how many of each reservoir and harvester for each Alchemica based on their individual.
This is what I haven't figured out, and this is why I guess where I could either try to figure it out or just ask. But like, is it that way because of the ratios between like harvester and capacity? Like, I haven't done the math between each harvester and capacity. It may be that you're actually claiming less Keck per day per capita than you are alpha per day. So alpha's filling up quicker because there's more per day in the recipe naturally. Or the other would be I got this. It kind of slipped my mind, but like
circle back.
Yeah, it's like, why is it? I'm blanked out on this. Yeah.
Well, the moral of the story is don't touch them a bunch of times. Like, it really is way more beneficial to upgrade them high, fill them slowly, fill them for a long period of time, and empty infrequently.
I know. Is it your ratios of what's in the parcel? So
that doesn't have any impact on your harvesting rate, though. Only
that's what I figured. It wouldn't make sense for it to be that way.
No.
Okay, so it has to be between the harvester. They've designed the recipes between the harvesters and the reservoirs to also reflect that difference. So a Keck
and the balancing between those and the tech tree based on the altar. So it's like a 3-tier level balancing.
Right. Right, but with the altars in each installation, it's more like that's the base, so it's a 1-in-1. Whereas like the way Keck and its reservoir have a ratio, alpha and its reservoir has its own ratio that might be slightly different.
Slightly lower, I would think, harvesters to reservoirs.
Yeah. Well, alpha would be higher. That's why it fills faster.
Alpha's speed is higher, which means
you're getting
fewer
more per level is, I guess, what it would come down to.
Yeah. It'll fill the fastest.
I guess that's even a way to look at it. You can look at the capacities. So, like, at level 4, it's an 80 FUD. Let's get the recipes out. Is it 40 FOMO? We can actually see it in the recipes if it's not a 1-to-1.
It isn't 1-to-1. They're close. 2-to-1.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, they're fours. They're multiples of each other. Like with your channelings are even. So if you get a channeling of 40 FUD, you'll have 20 FOMO, 10 alpha, 5 Keck. But I don't think it's that way on the harvesters. So let's see. Oh, wait, this... Oh, that's the harvest. Oh, yeah. So I even forgot about that. So even... That's a part... Oh, that's it. That's it right there. The harvesting rates are already different because what you harvest in 24 hours is less than what you can hold.
Always. That's always true. That's universally true across all the levels and all the Alchemicas. Yep. And it comes out to about, like...
So even if you're at the same level, 4 and 4, at every level, even if you're 1-in-1 level, same level, it's like a 28 or a 30-hour fill period.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense. That's where
it seems to make more sense to me to keep the reservoir one level higher than the harvesters and to have 2 harvesters for each reservoir. Because then it's almost you're filling it once a day to capacity.
I personally do not see any benefit to multiple harvesters. Because at every level it's cheaper to upgrade than to buy another one.
Does it also increase the yield the same amount?
It increases the yield more than double.
So it's
actually better in yield
It's
Right.
cheaper and it yields more to upgrade than it is to
If
build a
you
second.
buy 2 FUD
Oops.
harvesters, it's going to cost you 250 in FUD, and you're going to get 8.4. If
Okay, so then
you
this is where the timing part's going to come in too. Not only are you trying to balance your, optimum number of extraction per day units, now you have to also balance how much time do I want to put in. And once you
right,
start factoring in your time, you start giving up little bits, and it becomes slightly less efficient each time.
right.
It's it's
But
it's clever. They
exactly,
did a great
because
job
then you're waiting for that. The only reason you would build a second harvester as opposed to upgrading
upgrading your first.
is
Yeah.
because you can't upgrade. It's because you're
Because you've
already
reached 9.
you will know because you're already upgrading your altar, or you're already in an upgrade that you didn't
Oh,
spend glitter on, and you're
gotcha,
like, I
gotcha.
need a
Yeah.
Harvey right now. I got no glitter.
Now I need to harvest now. Yep.
I need this
You just
capacity.
throw
But
down a
other
level
than
1.
that, it makes more sense to level up. At least I haven't. I'd have to run the numbers on this, but maybe it makes sense to have a second one once you reach level 4, because after level 3 you start spending Keck. So it might be that you're like, hey, I got a level 3 harvester. I'm just gonna build another level 1.
Hmm. Instead of spending the keck to do it. So you in favor, and that might happen. That might be the play, depending on the fluctuation in Alchemica prices. It may be more favorable to spend more FUD in order to avoid Keck because Keck has become so increasingly or incredibly expensive. Who
Right.
knows? These numbers could go anywhere. More of all of them is the only thing that's safe. More of them
Well,
all always.
and so I would say, yeah, like having once you reach level 3, maybe it does make sense to start another one and bring that to level 3 rather than to start spending Keck on level 4s and up. But I would have to actually do the math on that because once you get past, yeah, because then that's another expense you got to think about in that you're not getting technically because it's a FUD harvester, so you're not going to get any Keck out of it no matter what you do. Can't squeeze Keck out of a FUD harvester.
Right.
Old
But you're sinking
Gotchi's
some.
Gotchi wise isms.
I think that's a good play though with that rarity that comes in where Keck is for like special stuff. Not everybody's gonna have altars and harvesters and reservoirs that have required Keck. You know what I mean? Like there's the
That's
number
true.
of level 9 anythings is
Well,
going
that's
to be
why once you hit a
so
level
much
4, it's
smaller.
pink. You're like, ooh, you see anything pink in the Gotchiverse, you're like,
Flex.
ooh,
Yeah.
you got to level
They've
4.
they've leveled. I'm on the verge. I've got some level 3s, but I haven't reached level 4 yet. No
I've got
pinks
a
yet.
level 4 altar, but my main farming property is not there yet. It's
I'm
coming
looking at
though.
Alchemica prices right now, and I picked up a little bit of FOMO and a little bit of FUD and a little bit of glitter today.
Everything's dipping or what?
Coming down. Yeah, Keck's
Where do
going
you
up.
watch your prices for Alchemica?
Easiest place is CoinGecko, as far as I've found. I've got a very
Okay.
short watch list of some tokens that I just, when I want to quick know what the price is, I pull up my whole watch list, and it's got all of the Aavegotchi stuff. And CoinGecko also has a filter. I don't use it, but they have a filter where you can have a list of just Aavegotchi assets. So it'll show you, I think, Matic Ghost, all the Alchemica glitter. It'll do the whole Aavegotchi ecosystem for you.
That's
But I've got a
nice.
little bit more on there. I've been watching New Cipher and Threshold. New Cipher is transitioning, converting over to Threshold, and I still have the old New token. I don't have any of the new T token. And I've kind of been watching to see, is it advantageous to arbitrage? Should I just convert it? How do I do that? So I've been watching those. Of course, I've got Bank on there. Just like to see where that's at on any given day. Blackpool token. I'm looking to get some Blackpool token. I don't have any exposure to most of the NFTs that they're in. The only thing I have exposure to is Aavegotchi, and that's one of their smaller holdings. So things like So Rare or um, Axie Infinity and these other fairly big Pegaxie, they've got some assets in these other games that I don't have any exposure to. So I thought that might be a good way to do it, kind of like an NFT.
Are they like predominantly a metaverse play?
Yeah, it's an NFT hedge fund. It's all
Similar
like
to
GameFi hedge fund.
like what Index Coop has like their uh shit, I'm blanking now. You know, like how Index Coop has their products that are like, you know,
It's a
the
package of weighted assets.
right. So is that essentially kind of what it is? Like you can get exposure to metaverse baskets.
It's more of a governance token and a utility token. It kind of gets you access into their space and it allows you to vote. It also has like a VE aspect to it where you can lock it up in your
Okay.
interest over 4 years or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's primarily a governance token, and it's just as I guess kind of like a fractionalized bit of their holdings. That's probably more words than I should be saying in the United States.
Security.
Might be a security, yep, might be a security, but theoretically, one might want to own this if it's legal where you live.
Nice.
If it fits that person's needs. But I don't think I'm interested in it because it's not for here.
Right. Well, you know, you actually you mentioned something before that got me thinking too about you know, with New Cipher. Like, so how do
Yeah.
you feel about you know, Ethereum is supposed to be going through the merge, and now, you know, we've kind of known this could happen, but now people are suddenly being like, oh, there's gonna be a fork, and
Oh yeah, at the last minute, I want to double my money too. I want my Bitcoin gold. Like anybody gives a shit about Bitcoin gold,
right.
Fork it, fine. If Ethereum's gonna be fine, fork your coins, get some bucks. I don't care.
Right. Well, they're saying they're gonna keep it alive. There's gonna be an Ethereum Classic and
Because
an
a classic
Ethereum
works so
Classic
well.
Classic.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
good luck.
I mean, I'm just gonna, you know, if they airdrop me a bunch of free old ETH, I'm gonna flip it into ghosts. So
Into New ETH. Oh, or yeah, there you go.
I'm just gonna be like, all right, well, this is play money.
I flipped a bunch of shit coins into Ghost last week. I made some moves, gobbled up some assets, just dumped a bunch of stuff, things that I'd bought before the run, and I was up 10x, 20x, like and I'm holding on, get higher, number go up, right to the fucking bottom. So now I'm up like 25%, 30%, and I went, gains are gains, sell it, move it to Ghost.
Hey, up is
I want
up,
that one
man.
more. That's
Shit.
right.
I wish I
And
had
I
done
don't want to
that with some
hold,
of my holdings on Voyager before they rugged me.
right? Sorry, man. Sounds like they might be okay. Celsius is not faring as well.
Oh
People
yeah,
are
I haven't been.
significantly more angry at Celsius.
Well, you know,
Not good.
and this doesn't mean anything. It just goes to show you. But like, part of the reason that I had so much trust, I guess you would say, in Voyager was because I also like I hold Voyager stock. So I figured like a publicly traded company is not going to be doing a bunch of degen shit, right? But then again, like old Bernie Madoff was a publicly traded company. And
Fair enough.
so whatever, like yeah, that was stupid. And that's why I compare it to Celsius, because Celsius is a little more like, all right, well this is out on a plank a bit. Like I really don't know what's going on with y'all. So this is a risky play. Where it's like
Yeah.
Voyager, it's like I was
We're
comfortable
good.
holding my money there
We're
as
good.
well as holding stock in your company. This is fine. It's
Yeah.
like meanwhile y'all are,
Not fun.
you know, loaning out to 3AC
In
and
bed with
you know.
3AC. Yeah. Everything they touch turned to down. That sucks. That sucks big. But
Man,
hey,
man, man.
hopefully it means the
We
ecosystem's more
lived
resilient
through
for it.
some really historic moments if you think about it. Like we're crypto OGs now. Like because of some of the things that like some of the stories we could tell just over the last year are like would be insanity to anybody coming in to
For
the
sure.
space right now.
I've been I got in right at the cusp, like right coming out of Mt. Gox. That's when I jumped into Bitcoin. Was like right as Mount Gox was the thing, and it was straight to the bottom.
And you're like, "Ooh."
That was my intro. Yeah, hey, these look cheap. I didn't get any. I tried mining them. Ended up paying the power company for them. I saw a lot of smart things and made the dumb moves to get there that were the wrong moves. I started mining early, and I loved mining. Oh my gosh. But traded everything and put it on shitcoin exchanges, and then the coins went down and the exchanges went down, and I lost all of it. So it was like a big reset. Every cycle is a big reset.
Yep.
Last time, okay, I got it. I'll get all my coins off exchanges. Perfect. Move them all into a wallet. Now the price tanks. They're all worth $15 a piece, and it costs $30 worth of ETH to transfer them to a burn wallet. So you leave the wallet, you just abandon it. These are just dust garbage coins, you know. That was the next cycle, and now I feel better. I got liquidated this time. That was fresh. That was new. But you know, you learn every cycle. You're right. People who have been through this one, I think, can call themselves crypto OGs because it's not always up only.
Right.
I mean, zoom out, it's up only. But you know, you can't just be up 30% every week all of the time.
Come on, bro.
It feels good.
When Lambo.
When Lambo. Man, I have no interest in a Lambo.
That makes me want to go see what BitBoy's doing right now. Like, what is he doing? Like,
rolling around in a pile of money. I don't know. Probably fill a pool with quarters and
I'll probably go like turn on that channel and just see like some crazy shitcoin I've never heard of. Be like, what the fuck is he shilling now? Like, what is this?
Whatever will go up, you know?
Right?
I remember Chili's being hot for a moment. Did you ever get into Chili's? Everybody was all jacked about Chili's, and I'm over on the sideline going, pass.
I don't know about Chili's.
And then Coinbase listed it, and it was supposed to be,
That's
hey,
a coin?
now they're big time, and still pass. It's a coin.
Hi, buddy. Hello.
I get distracted easy. But I think I made a smart play though. There are a lot of shitcoins out there, and there were some things that were kind of popping, and I rotated some popping shitcoins into assets. Picked up some more parcels. Picked up some more ghosts. I got 7 gotchis now. I added 3 this week.
This dude, he just stabbed me in the neck.
Pay attention to me.
Freddy Kruegered me.
Oh, hey. Oh, shoot. We're coming up on our hour here, but I really wanted to see what's in this FUD parcel.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You want to roll this?
Yeah.
I saved it for this stream. Everybody's missing out, but
They'll have to catch
It'll be
you on the
recorded.
reruns.
That's right. It'll be recorded. All right. Let me drop in here. First, I got to switch over. Full screen browser. Whammy. Good. And then I should be able to...
Hold on, I'm going to make you
here.
big. There we go.
And then I gotta change my window capture to enter the... Oops. That's the wrong one. Pick up. Window capture to this one. There we are. Do you want to keep them? Save them. Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is a plus 12 FOMO boosted parcel that I picked up at a mouth-wateringly low 230 ghost. To receive whatever it is, 6,000 FOMO every round feels like a win on this. But we'll see. Like I said, only one neighbor in this area has surveyed, and they got wrecked.
Did they survey early? And have we had any long-term data to tell us if surveying has, like, what the results have been? Like, because a lot of people were saying in the beginning, like, hey, stop surveying. We're having too many similar numbers. Like,
I even have duplicate parcels that have the exact same amount of FUD or whatever.
Weird.
So it's definitely not a random number.
I think the way
it's a set number selected randomly. Like, here are the 8 choices for how much FUD you can get, selected randomly, kind of a thing.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah,
I thought the way that Coder Dan explained it was that it's like it actually rolls all of your VRFs at one time, Which sounded weird because then, yeah, like maybe it's not the VRFs, but he said it's something like it's a long number and you're only seeing part of it at a time.
So when you survey your parcel, you've surveyed for all 10 rounds.
Either that or maybe
I don't like that.
maybe what the long number is. So maybe the reason we're seeing similarities is because the VRF is actually rolling across a number like the wheel of names, but numbers.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
so,
what I'm saying. There's pre-selected numbers. It's not a complete linear range. It's here's a range of numbers, let's say integers, for
but I'm
example.
saying those
Now we're
numbers
talking.
all exist on a line, and you're essentially scanning across that line to stop at a portion of it for each roll. And then maybe that section is removed for the next VRF. Now it rolls across the same.
Starting from where you left off. Same code.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, if that's the case, there
Unless
might be
I'm
a way.
misunderstanding something he said, but I remember him saying something about it being a really long number and you only seeing like a portion of it or something.
I'd like to hear more about that. That's interesting.
I'll have to go back and find the episode. It was a couple weeks. Yeah. Let's do this.
All right,
LFG.
we need some good vibes. We need some good high FOMO vibes here. This should be, you know what? I'm even gonna pull up real quick.
Win Lambo.
When Lambo. Citadel. TikTok. Here it comes. Slow. My computer doesn't like me when I'm streaming. So I think that one's mine. I think this one was surveyed. Unsurveyed. This is surveyed. So this is the same 12 FOMO here. And they got an under average roll on their FOMO. On a 12-point boosted FOMO.
Jesus. Well, like we've said, maybe it'll play out in future rounds. It definitely hurts on Christmas morning.
It hurts this time. It for sure hurts this time. But next time, these averages are going to be significantly lower. Next time, these are going to be like 5,000, 2,000, 500, 200. And on top of that, you're going to get a nominal 6,000 pile.
You're right, but we're going to be looking at... Yeah, this is where it's going to get interesting. So right now, the chart we're looking at is Act 1, Round 1 averages. So we're going to get a new chart for Act 2, Round... And that would be Round 2 through 10.
Much smaller. Correct.
Totally.
Be much lower than this. But the averages are going to be much lower than this. That boost is going to remain the same. It will be at 6,000 FOMO every round. So that may essentially double or triple what the FOMO average ends up being for the next rounds.
So you could potentially make it up in the other 9 rounds.
There's no potentially about it. It's guaranteed almost by round 2.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Right. Okay. So yeah.
How significantly more you will get in the second round will be like laughing in everyone's face amount.
But like you said, it does kind of suck that it's not an upfront boost. It's a harvested boost. You still have to claim it.
But it's available to you, I suppose. We'll see. I mean...
Well, that's interesting because we were talking about, real quick before you roll, we were talking about the reservoir levels and the averaging out and how it makes sense to go up. Like, so on a FOMO boosted parcel especially, it might make sense to hit a level 6 or a 7 just with that reservoir, even if you don't want to bring the rest up, because you're actually, by bringing it up that high, you're helping the spillover of your lower reservoirs.
It's true.
And capturing what is the boosted that will already like give you more, and wanting to pull out at an equitable an equitable rate, like being able to say, oh, I'm gonna get the FOMO out at the same time as everything else, as opposed to, I'm trying to play this balance game. Like, I want to, like, tap everything at the same time. I don't want to have to, like, do 100 transactions of just FUD where I'm like,
Right.
should I just leave this here?
The answer is yes.
Right. Like, it gets to a point where you're like, if you don't tap evenly, you're going to end up with dust in there that's not worth claiming.
If you think leapfrogging on your channeling is a pain in the ass, wait until you're leapfrogging on your harvester or your reservoir emptying multiple you don't want to mess with that. I'm trying not to overcomplicate. I am overcomplicating because it's how I do things, but I'm trying not to overcomplicate. All right, let's spin this.
Let's spin it.
3 feels like a good time to spin. Survey that parcel. Good vibes. Big money, no whammies. We're gonna get 8 mode. And now we wait.
How's gas looking?
Aggressive. I didn't look.
It cost me 10
I
mana.
only ape. That's right. Spend whatever.
It's at 107.
Blank check.
Standard is at 107 Gwei, so not bad. Like earlier when I was trying to do shit, and it's like 542.
It got nasty. It was like mean earlier.
Dude, what?
I don't want to
is
have to
going
spend
on?
half a matic to claim an upgrade. Just give you the upgrade. It's done already.
Insanity. Are you doing like a dance here?
Yeah, this is my RNG input dance.
What district are you in? 4?
This is 19. I'm right 19. In the FOMO Delta.
Oh yeah, right over from 4.
In that like circle there. 2 to 5 minutes.
I should have came over and done the dance with you.
If it makes you feel any less FOMO, I'm certain the dance does nothing.
I don't know. We have no idea what Sergey's watching.
That's right.
It could be even more insidious. What if what Sergey's watching is how much you dumped?
I didn't dump anything.
I'm saying not you, like literally. I'm saying like what kind of like Coder Dan made that Know Your Scholar site.
Oh yeah, the shittier, the more of an extractor you are on the ecosystem, the less the ecosystem rewards you.
The VRF is like, ooh, dumper here. We got a dumper.
I like that. I also like dumper as a slur. That's a fun slur. Dumper.
He's a dumper.
Dirty dumper.
Goodness.
You can shame people who are shorting your token. Dumpers. 2 to 5 minutes. I am an impatient boy.
They're really milking that 2 to 5.
To be fair, though, I'm being kind of a patient boy because I put a food in the microwave for dinner before this, and then I forgot about it after it beeped. So now there's a cold food I have to re-microwave so I can eat, and I'm very hungry.
Oh, look, Gotchi Emperor joined us. We're surveying a FOMO parcel right now, so
it's a +12 boost. I haven't opened it yet. We're waiting for the results.
We're at the very tail end of our podcast here. We're gonna be cutting out after this parcel.
I'm smoking a joint with my girl right now.
Nice.
I gotta take kids somewhere, so yep, you're smoking a joint too.
Yep.
Nice.
Hey,
I
need some good vibes. I need some good vibes for this roll.
All right, very good, man. Vibes. All you gotta do is, it's like you just have to speak it into existence. So
I got the red shirt on.
Yep. Tell the world you're gonna get a good roll. Just speak.
That's right. I've got the plan already made, so we're gonna need a bunch of level 9 reservoirs, and it's gonna be a quadruple roll, right?
What do you guys think about like the amount of alchemica to kind of what you can build out? Reasonable.
I think
like how much is available in it.
Yeah, like how much is available, how much land there is to build on. You know what I'm saying? Comparably. I've been trying to do all the numbers myself without any real help. I haven't really got into it much, but I was trying to just do it in my head, kind of like figure it out. But like,
Sure.
I was thinking about it, and like on Spacious, what do you guys think about like having like just a ton of harvesters and just upgrading your reservoirs? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, I
what like
think I think high reservoirs are the play, and then you
Yeah.
upgrade your harvesters to the speed that you want to empty.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That way, yep. That's what I was thinking. That way I can have, I got a lot of spacious, so I was thinking I could build out a shit ton of harvesters, depending on how quick I want to, harvest it out. So.
We
But
talked
See,
about this a little earlier too. It seems like you lose more by building a multitude of low levels versus a few high levels. It's almost more valuable to upgrade your harvesters rather than multiply your harvesters.
yeah, exactly. But not. Oh, the harvesters. You think so?
The harvesters,
yeah.
yeah.
I was for me. It's I'm not gonna be like doing a lot of like super like with the glitter. So I was thinking to myself like, without having to wait all the time. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I can just upgrade the time is easier on the reservoirs too. You know what I'm saying? The time is shorter to upgrade them. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I
That's
don't know.
kind
You
of
guys
why I
have been,
think on a spacious having a maker is probably very important.
I would agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And wasteful on almost any other parcel.
Yeah.
I,
Like it has to be
I have a
spacious.
maker. I have a maker on mine, and I've literally been building everything with just the Alchemica I've been earning. So,
Nice.
I mean,
How is
Nice.
that? Do you feel like you're bottlenecked?
I feel like no, I don't feel. I feel like I was gonna restart my kind of idea of like upgrading just the reservoirs, and then when
Yeah.
I get to the point when I want to start, like when the spillovers a low enough amount, when I upgrade the harvesters, or I mean the reservoirs and the alter to wherever I need it to be, to where I figure the amount I'm losing is okay, then I'll start to actually harvest the Alchemica out of the property.
That's what I'm doing. I feel you. 100%.
So,
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of was just kind of upgrading and building. I was going to do one property. I was just going to, one corner was going to be all Keck, one corner was going to be all alpha. Like I was
Nice.
literally going to build everything out. But then I started doing the numbers on the spillover, and man, I was getting
It's
fucked.
brutal. Low levels is brutal.
It's not even
Where are you
worth
at? Where's your
emptying
build?
under level 4.
It's almost
It really isn't.
in there until you can get the reservoirs up, even if it's just one. You know what I mean? Like
Where's your build at, Gotchi Emperor? What district are you in? Like, do you have a primary district?
right now, I got 31. No, I got 28 spaciouses. So like, I don't
Nice.
have a primary district, but I got a lot in like District 11 and 12, and then I got some portal
Okay.
two over in 2, I think it was. But like right in 12, I got like a few of them, but the only one I'm really building on is in 11. I don't
Gotcha.
know where it
Is
is.
that spacious?
Yeah, spacious. And then
Okay.
I wanted
I'll
to
have to
do,
come visit you sometime.
absolutely. I'm kind of like trying to design it a little bit, but
All
okay.
right.
You're right about the bottleneck, though. You kind of hit like a bottleneck of what you can do
Yep.
every day, kind of do it and keep going. It's like, do I want to wait or do I want to get it out? Do I want to risk the money? What do you guys think about risking the money?
What do you,
I'm shoveling money into a coal furnace right now.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
feels good.
well, FOMO was so fucking high. I mean, it was
I
almost to
know.
equal to alpha.
That was
That's
scary.
insane. That's insane. Like, I was like, I don't want to trade my alpha even to FOMO
Oh,
stuff.
oh, I got fucking wrecked.
Oh man.
Is that a reasonable?
Oh.
That's a lower than average reasonable roll on a 12 boost.
You did good on the FUD though, man.
That's true.
You
Randomly.
cleaned up on the FUD. Like that's like almost
missed it.
twice. That's like a 2x, right?
That's a 2x. That's a 2x on FUD. But
I
the
kind
average, it's a 2x on FOMO. That's not terrible. That's not terrible.
I kind of got wrecked on most of my properties, but one reasonable I rolled, I got like a 53,000 alpha. So that was like the one
Oh,
super high freaking roll. I had a little boost, but like 53,000 for a reasonable, that's pretty sick, right?
that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So I didn't have very many of them, and it's like the one roll I actually got something real big, and I rolled all of them the first day, and I was thinking to myself, everybody's fucking rolling, so I should have just waited, and then I should have
Why?
done I roll because I mean, maybe it's just I'm high, but I was thinking if I do all my rolls by myself, maybe the algorithm will end up giving me something more inside of my rolls instead of everybody's doing it at the same time. I'm just getting ran. But
That's
then again,
very funny. Everyone's got their own little loops, their own little loopholes they think
It's
they found.
voodoo.
It's hilarious to me. I love it though, because I'll try them all. Whatever. If we find it, let's crack it. Let's
no,
crack this code.
I was just thinking to myself, but then you're right. It is every single roll is random.
Yeah,
So
you change the gas fee. That's not determining. I
Well,
did a
we
little
have
dance
had
this time, that's
numbers.
not
The
determining.
numbers are coming up similar, so it's not.
Yeah.
Clearly, our voodoo can only go so far.
Yeah. I kind of want to open another one.
are you guys opening humbles? Because I don't even know if I want to open a humble. Because it seems just like I'm not even sure
I
humbles
don't
are.
own any.
I actually
Okay.
ran the numbers, and I have two humbles, and I didn't survey one of them, but I surveyed one on the first day, and that one came out to like, I think I'm up on everything except FOMO was a little bit below average, but when I like did the math, it's up like so. But also, like, I think it's not worth going over maybe a level 4. Level 3 or level 4 is probably the highest you should build on a humble.
Okay. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was almost thinking just sell my humbles and call it a day with the farming on that. But then again, if I got enough gotchis, that would have been the play right now, is in the beginning to have a shit ton of gotchis and then a ton of humbles to just do your frickin' channeling in the beginning to kind of like build up everything else.
Yeah, I think there's a long play with the humbles too, though. So this is what I was thinking, and it depends on if they nerf us on this because now they're talking about changing recipes again. But
On what?
all right, so we're supposed to tear down our installations for half the Alchemica back.
Yeah.
They're saying they're not going to do that now. They're like, possibility they don't want to do that anymore. So, but my strategy, if we do have that, is that so if you build out a humble and you build it up to like a level 6, let's just say you build up to a 6, and you get 50% of the Alchemica back, that's a level 3 that you could throw on a humble.
Yeah.
For free, basically. So now you can say, oh, I'm going to tap this humble with my refund off of my reasonable.
But what about the long play? I mean, obviously, they said that the stuff's not going to be destroyed all the way. So obviously, like, you're going to be able to roll again and again. And aren't you already going to want your property where
Only
you want?
nobody's going to tear down until Act 10 is done. Like round 10 is done. So what I mean is like we're in Act 1, round 1 right now. So after round 10, people are, or whenever people basically tap their land, because
When is
some
that?
people are going to be able to tap their land really early in round 10 because they're going to build up to a level 9 and they're going to be maximally efficient and be able to drain it in a month.
Yeah. And then when will round 10 reach again?
We don't know.
That's a ways away though, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so like the problem they're thinking of right now is something that could come way in the future because I was already thinking about how I could use that to my advantage. You know what I mean? Just tearing it down.
Right, and that's kind of like where it's scary kind of being in a DAO because like we have all these things that we've been planning around and now they're just going to like change all that on us.
Paint it again.
And it's like I mean, look, that harvesting recipes like really killed the momentum of farming in my opinion. Like
For
people were
sure.
planning to launch huge farms and now like everybody, even medium to large size players, are like, "Hey, I can only afford to do one farm."
Right. The parcel was supposed to be the input. The parcel isn't supposed to be the ticket to play the game to dump a bunch of more input. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
So
just feels like you're having to invest, and then the window on the yield and the amount of the yield and the accessibility of the yield keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
right. And
Plus, they throw
then you're going to invest
pillow.
all the way up to a level 6 to capture that spillover, and then they're going to say, "Oh, guess what? You can't have half of it back."
We'll see. You can only go with what you've got to work with, and
It just makes it hard to make long-term decisions when you feel like you're
it's
going to
hard to
get
lock into any of
outvoted,
them. Yep.
you know? Cuz my vote doesn't count. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, my vote's not really counting either, really that much compared to like some big time players in the game. So I mean,
Right.
with that said, I mean it's kind of like a little lopsided, like most games, though. Just
Yeah.
most like that with voting. It's kind of lopsided. Plus, I was thinking, I mean, there's pros and cons to making it a hidden vote, but like just to make people more make their own mind up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not seeing which way the tide is going and feeling like, "Hey, my vote doesn't count anyway. I guess I'll vote
I,
yes."
I was just getting my XP most of the time.
Right?
I want my XP. I'm gonna vote. Oh, they already won. Okay, I'll vote yes too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's really no option in my mind. I read it, but I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I
You know
run
what
a
I'm
lot of sesh polls, and what I've noticed is the first answer is the one they pick.
It's how it's worded, for sure.
I love how somebody said this, like when you make a poll, you should always give 2 yeses and abstain.
But abstain.
Don't put a no. Just put 2 yeses and abstain. Like, yes, I agree with this. No, I do not disagree with this. And abstain.
I hate that. I don't like that misleading stuff. I'm not into that. I want to audit your quizzes. You know what I mean? I want them tight. I don't allow for any of that.
Yes, I agree with this. No, I do not disagree with
Now,
this.
what part of the game once they get frozen and locked in are like non what do you call that? There's a word for it. We can't.
Well, I guess the altar recipes are unchangeable.
Yep. And I think like as we advance, I think
Immutable,
like
is that the word you were looking for?
yeah, immutable. So I mean, I think at some point, I think there should some things that will like, in order to not rug our own players and us, freaking, we should like make things immutable after they've went through it. But then they're like, oh well, what if something comes up where we got to fucking change it? I'm like,
Well, that's
well,
why they keep fixing this stuff right before it comes out.
Like right before.
Because right before there's a huge DAO movement that's like, wait a second, it's not going to work. And then it's like, all right.
Well, not just that, but then with the bots, and then you have like the fucking Alchemica tokenomics kind of being fucked up by going back and forth. Hey, this is more important right now. Hey, let's devalue that and make this more important. And then, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, they keep taking the coin back and forth, which I understand, but I don't understand their logic. Like, I look at tokenomics all day long in the crypto industry, and like, I don't understand why they're like switching it back and forth. But then again, they could be like driving one price up and then driving the other price back up. But it's diluting. The alpha and the Keck are being dumped to get your FUD and FOMO right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't get it. Why are you going to devalue the other coins with the coin? Like, they should make it at least to where you have to use some of the alpha and Keck in every one of those recipes. You know what I mean? Just in order to not, at least some. You know what I mean? Do you guys agree?
I don't think I agree. And we touched a little on this earlier too. Like, it doesn't cost any Keck to upgrade to a level 2 reservoir. But if you want to go to like a level 6 or a level 7, you're putting Keck into that, but it's not generating
I think it's at level 4 that Keck begins in all installations.
Okay, so at some point though, like you're not really using a lot though. You know what I'm saying? I guess is what I was coming up with.
Well,
like,
yeah. I think there's longer plays though, because if you notice, like things like the grass took I mean, it was FUD heavy as well, but like, they used Keck and Alpha. Also, the golden tiles were very heavy. I mean, they were weighted equally and everything, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I bought one of those fountains for goobs. So I put that
Nice.
I
How were
put
those
that
weighted?
alpha. It was a ton of alpha.
Heavy.
Right. So,
6,000 alpha.
and I guess
So
you're right. That does kind of change the tokenomics in a big way because there's a lot of people who do not give a crap about aesthetics. Like, I've seen a lot of
Yep.
like
We're here to
anti-sync
farm.
sentiment. People are like, "Oh, sounds like another boring sync. It sounds like, like if people like some people are totally about the yield, I guess, and don't care about anything else. And then I'm kind of in the middle where I'm like, yeah, I want my yield to function right, but yeah, I want my parcel to look cool. Like I want to flex. I want to, you know.
I'm going to have a little fun. I don't want to lose money, but I'm not dead set on making the absolute most possible under any circumstances. I'm
If
going to have
it's
a little
only
fun.
about ROI, is this really a game?
No, but that's just it. Like a lot of people that got in it, I think got in it thinking it was for ROI.
Right.
Just getting the return on your investment. But that's not what that's not what they created. That's not what they
Right.
want. But I'm saying they want the next fucking multi-billion-dollar fucking, Clash of Clans,
And that
just
actually is what makes it more valuable. Like
yeah.
bringing 50,000 people into the Gotchiverse is what makes Alchemica value, not like
I mean, you got people that are like anti NFT games that don't realize that they're like spending money, but they're not getting anything back. They're like
That's
blowing
my friends.
$1,000 a month,
Yep.
$100 a week. You know what I mean?
They're
And
dead set. They're
Jesus.
simultaneously dead set against NFT gaming and spending in a consumption manner hundreds of dollars into a phone app that they will never get back. It's just
exactly.
consumed. This is all
And,
invested.
and then they're just tricked into it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
and it's just I mean, I think it's kind of like mind control.
and then you could just be rugged when they like don't update that game anymore and they just say, "All right, guys, we're done here. Pack it up." I don't know how often that happens in online games, but I know it happened to me. Like I was playing a Star Wars card game app, and they rugged me. They just suddenly were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna update this anymore," and I was like, "Well," and I didn't pay for anything, but I grinded hard to not pay for anything,
Man,
just to get rugged.
I don't want to get rugged. This doesn't seem like we're gonna get rugged, but
Well, no, I'm just talking the Web 2 rug of we're not playing this. We're not going to update this game anymore.
oh yeah, that. Well, they've even said with Aavegotchi is even if Aavegotchi goes completely under, everything exists on the blockchain, runs on the
Pixelcraft, yeah,
blockchain, and
yeah.
could be rebuilt from the blockchain.
Right, right. Anybody could pick it up. And I mean, that's kind of the hope too, is that more games will start to. That's what I really want to see is not many games, other games get developed that use Aavegotchi assets in a different way.
Agreed.
I'm really, really interested to see that. You missed it, Gotchi Emperor, but I was just saying I'm really interested to see more games built using Aavegotchi assets besides the Gotchiverse. Like, I'd love to see other game companies building NFT crypto games that use our assets. Like, even if it
Yeah,
was
that
like a Sonic the Hedgehog emulator with freaking Aavegotchis in it, and you're like running around like getting Alchemica,
Picking up Keck instead of rings, yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
kind of posted today too is just somebody posted, I forget who, but they were just basically saying how easy it is to get into. That's what I mean, using whatever it is that to use. It's just so easy to get in. You know what I mean? And build.
Phaser, yeah.
So I mean, I think that's huge on its own. And obviously, they're able to advance different parts of the game without changing, the base building block, right?
Exactly. What's interesting there too, though, is that other mini games, or I keep saying mini games. We're not supposed to use the word mini games. That is not the word anymore. Anyway, other games could use like traits differently.
Yeah. I mean,
all of the arcade games do.
Right.
All of them,
yeah.
They label what the high or low traits do, and they're all different.
Exactly. So you could have games that like, don't honor the same trait thing that we do in the Gotchiverse and could make it to where it goes other direction. Maybe godlikes aren't as honored in this other game. Or maybe there's games where like godlikes rule all and it's the cheat code. Like
Interesting.
maybe some games that don't use it at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do you guys
more of the all gotchis are created equal.
Yeah.
but using more like in-game assets and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, like I mean, I was thinking of like gotchi or a liquidator hunt. You just shoot down liquidators like duck hunt. You know what I mean? That would be dope. Pop, 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 pop.
That would be fun. I'd play that one.
I think there's
Gotchi
a lot.
go-karts.
Yep, yeah, that's what they were talking about too. Kind of doing shrooms. But I gotta go. But it was great talking to you guys.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here.
There's some good information. Thank you guys very much. All right.
Yep.
Good chat. Have a good night.
See you next roll, brother. All right. Peace.
Peace. All right. Well, we had one guest tonight, and Mr. Rusty, of course, who always has to show up.
Oh, hello, sir.
Meow. So yeah, good show, great episode, good roll.
Yeah, that was like surprised me. Wasn't the FOMO roll?
Oh, look, cat butthole on the camera. Gotta close it out strong.
It's a new transition. Like they got fade or pinwheel, and it's just cat butthole.
Yep.
Cut to black. Pull the cord.
Right. Cool. On that note.
Right. Catch us next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. Sound of the Ghost.
11 p.m. UTC, Sound of the Ghost, GMI server, coming at you with ZombieShepherd and ZFi. See you next time.
See you next time.